Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is research rescues in your area, specifically cat rescues. And obviously you can put your specific area. You can search however you like. Obviously you want something to be semi-close to you because you're gonna be working with them consistently and you're gonna be working with their vet partners and you need to be within driving distance of those. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick a random state. North Carolina cat rescue. So we're just gonna pick this rescue. What's wrong, baby? Okay, so we're just gonna pick this rescue to look at. Mommy. Okay. How am I supposed to get anything done, Missy? She's like, you either hold me with both hands, give me your undivided attention, or I eat your necklace. Those are the choices. We're on Safe Haven for Cats. It's a North Carolina cat rescue. So we're gonna look at their volunteer tab and see what they have available. So they've got a foster program right here. They have a foster agreement and a foster application. So let's just look at their application. So a lot of the foster applications are gonna be very similar to each other because all rescues want to know pretty much the same thing, right? Let's just kind of skim through it. What age group are you interested in fostering? This is super important because I would never suggest someone to start with bottle feeding kittens for their first fostering experience. My recommendation is to start with a nursing mom cat. You get to experience all of the growing, the milestones without having to do the most tedious part. The mom does all of that. She feeds them, cleans them, makes sure they go to the bathroom. Those are things that become very exhausting as a human trying to play mom to a baby cat. Okay. This is just gonna be your YouTube channel, huh? Oh. Yeah. Okay. I put it down a little bit so maybe you can see her a little better when she's being ridiculous. So age group is important. They need to know what age group you're interested in because then they also need to know what your experience is with those age groups. So if you automatically say that you want to bottle feed kittens, you're gonna need someone to show you how to do it safely. But that entails you have to make them go to the bathroom too because they don't have control over their bowels yet. There's a lot that goes into bottle feeding. So you just want to make sure that you're prepared for it. The sleep deprivation is one of the hardest parts, to be honest. Where you can click that you want to foster orphaned newborn kittens. In parentheses, it says requires, oh my God. In parentheses, it says requires around the clock care and supervision. That's so important to understand and know because if you have a full-time job and you have to be places at very specific times, you have to take into account that you are feeding newborn kittens every 2 hours throughout the night. It's a huge commitment. Let's just keep skimming through this for just like a second to give you an idea of what kind of stuff rescues are gonna ask for because this is a really good application. Would you be willing to care for a cat that needs medication, healing from surgery, needs time to heal from wounds? They need to know this because they need to know if you have a separate space. So that's my next point. You need to have a separate space for your foster cats. It doesn't matter if they're babies or if they're older cats, you need to have a separate space away from other pets. If you don't have any other pets and you have a secure place for kittens that is safe, basically baby proofed, that's different. But if you have other pets, like me, I have 3 of my own cats, a dog and a rabbit, and the rabbit is free roam. They all have their own little spaces, but I cannot intermingle with fosters into that. They need to have at least a 2-week quarantine period before you can introduce them to your own pets if you decide to do that. Is this like crooked? Okay, I'm sorry if that's crooked, but that's a good point when it comes to medication, healing, things like that, because you need to have a quiet, safe space for a cat that needs to heal from surgery or injury or whatever that might be. They obviously need to know if you're comfortable giving medication as well. How long can you foster? This is an important one because they need to know what kind of commitment you're able to give. They have options for up to 1 to 2 weeks, up to a month, as long as needed, or not sure. Not sure, obviously you can just talk to someone and see what you think fits best with your lifestyle, but if you put up to 1 to 2 weeks, that they know that you're kind of an emergency foster, someone that they can ask for help in an emergency that they can pass off to someone else soon, or you can do something called cage breaking. Let's say that there's a cat at Petco in a cage that is waiting to be adopted. Let's say that it's been there for a really long time. They might realize that the cat has been there for quite a while, and they want to give the cat a break. So they'll call a cage breaker so they can have some time away from the cage and be able to just like live freely. If you can't commit long term to fostering, that doesn't mean that you can't foster. You could still foster. You just need to specify exactly what you want to do so that they can place you with the correct foster. This one's important. How many hours of the day will the foster cat/kittens be left alone? This is important because, again, it depends on the age. If you have bottle-fed kittens that are a week old, you're not going to be able to go to work for 8 hours and then come back. They need to be fed every 2 hours. So obviously they're not going to place bottle-fed kittens like that with someone that can't stay home with them. They need to know how many hours you can dedicate to a foster a day so that they can place you again with the right fosters. Really, these are all questions that you should be asking yourself before you decide to foster so that you're preparing your space and your lifestyle to be able to work it in. Are you able to transport the fosters to the clinic that they use every 2 weeks for checkup appointments? So they do every 2 weeks for checkup appointments. We don't do that. We don't do checkups that often, but we also have a few vet partners, but every rescue is different. This is another question that you need to ask yourself. Are you prepared to take these cats to the vet? Especially if you decide to foster baby cats, because they get sick and there's no way around that. Their immune systems are still developing, so you need to be prepared to take them to the vet. My most recent foster fails are chicken and waffles, and they were so incredibly sick. I was at the vet with them 4 to 5 times a week, probably the first 2 months. Like, it was really bad. The only reason I was able to do that is because my schedule was flexible enough to be able to do that. If you can't do that, again, that does not mean that you can't foster. That just means that you need to be placed with the right age group, and they might not call you when it comes to medically fragile cats, which is okay. You just need to be very upfront about your expectations and what you're able to do. She doesn't want me to scratch my nose now. I'm a little bit allergic to you. Well, I mean, okay, I'm sorry. I won't be allergic anymore. So you just answer all their questions, you send the application in, and they'll contact you. However, you can always ask questions before you even apply. You can talk to somebody from the rescue. In my area, most of the rescues, if not all of them, have Facebook pages, so it's really easy to just message back and forth. So you can just look up on Facebook and find a rescue that seems to be close to you and kind of fits what you're looking for. It'll either list their website, or you can message them there and just ask whatever questions you're looking for. So you can either do this before or after you research rescues in your area, obviously. So you're gonna wanna build your knowledge. Research is gonna be your best friend. The main resource that has helped me the most is the Kitten Lady. She also has a book called Tiny But Mighty. We call it the Kitten Bible. So another great resource is bestfriends.org. They have a whole kitten foster manual. Yeah. They also have a section on fostering moms and kittens, which is super helpful. Sometimes it can be difficult to know what the mom needs, and so it is definitely helpful to have these resources. And building a sense of community is important as well. TikTok is a great resource for this. There's a lot of fosters on there, a lot of rescuers on there. Make friends with other rescuers so that you have someone to talk to. I have other rescuer friends that aren't even in the state that I'm in. I follow a lot of rescuers and fosters on TikTok. Building that sense of community is really important to do. I kind of built my community after I was already fostering, and I wish I had the forethought to do it before, because it is really stressful whenever you're trying to figure this stuff out on your own by yourself and you don't really have anyone to kind of reassure that you're doing the right thing. So build that sense of community. Familiarize yourself with the vets in your area. This will apply more to people that are fostering on their own and not necessarily through a rescue. Sometimes people do foster on their own because cats find us. Someone commented on one of my videos and said that their kitten fell out of the ceiling at work. Like, I don't know why that kind of stuff happens with cats, but it does. So you need to know where the vets are. You need to know where a 24-hour vet is just in case. Just make sure that you go ahead and you build that rapport and you already have that prepared. And then if you're fostering through a rescue or a shelter, obviously they're gonna have their own vet partners, maybe even their own vets if it's at a shelter. It sucks so bad whenever you have a sick kitten and you don't know where to take it and you're not quite sure who to ask. So have these things in place beforehand, because it is so stressful trying to figure this stuff out in the moment. Keep your expectations in check. Don't do too much too fast. Like I said, I never suggest someone start with bottle feeding kittens. I always suggest maybe an older cat or even just a mom cat that is already nursing. It is super easy to overwhelm yourself in the very beginning and then end up burnt out. Just start kind of small. Rescues aren't expecting you to just drop everything in your life and make this your life 24 hours a day, obviously, because that's just not realistic. So don't expect yourself to do that either. If you don't have a separate space, or you're just in a situation where you can't physically foster, you cannot take in any cats, you can still support rescue. Ways that you can still support rescue. Some of the best ways you can support rescue is by interacting with social media. Social media is a huge tool for rescuers and fosters and people trying to find adopters for kittens and cats. Word of mouth is such a powerful tool, and social media gives that to us. You can share their posts, you can like, you can comment. If you are able to monetarily donate, you can donate money. If you can't do that, that's totally understandable. If you have supplies that you want to donate, that's also helpful. But even just interacting with social media is so helpful. Let's be honest. What? That's just kind of the general overview, I guess, of how to get started fostering and where you can find the information to start fostering. I can make a video on what kind of supplies that you might need if you've decided that you definitely want to foster kittens, especially bottle-fed kittens, if that's something that you guys want to see. I just wanted to kind of give like a quick overview on how you can get started, because it can be kind of overwhelming when you start looking things up. And I wish I'd had just kind of like a comprehensive, very short list on how to do it, because yeah, I got pretty overwhelmed when I first decided that I wanted to do this. So I hope that helps. Reach out to rescues or shelters in your area and ask about their foster program. Ask them what it entails, what's included. Apply for the foster program. Build that sense of community, whether that be in person in your own community and area or online social media. Keep your expectations in check. Don't do too much too fast. And if you can't foster right now, but you want to support rescue, you can totally still do that. Even if you can't donate money, even if you can't donate supplies, share rescue posts, interact on their social medias. You can still support rescue without being able to foster yourself and without being able to donate. It's totally possible. I did it for years whenever I wanted to foster and I couldn't. And continue to ask questions. Be open to learning. That is the biggest thing that I have learned when it comes to fostering and starting to foster, is that the most important thing is being open-minded and willing to learn, because you're going to make mistakes. You might run into some information that isn't actually accurate anymore, because science is ever evolving, and so is the animal medical community and things that we're learning when it comes to care for kittens. Oh no, my nose itches. I almost forgot something super important. Mentally prepare yourself. That is something that I literally did for years before I decided to do this, because I knew that I wanted to foster bottle-fed orphan kittens and medically fragile kittens. I knew that it was going to take a toll on me emotionally, because I love animals so much. Oh, look at her. Oh, ridiculous. But you always have to remember that goodbye is the goal. That's something that I had to mentally prepare myself for, as well as my son, because otherwise you're going to want to keep every single cat that you care for, like this one, because look at her. So yeah, I don't really know how to end these types of videos. I'm used to TikTok. This is very weird for me. Let me know if there's any other questions that you want me to answer or things that you want to see on this channel, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye.